let's give everyone a minute for to join our room, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm recording this meeting so that later you can access it from the Seattle Discover Seattle College's website and see my presentation if you need to revisit again, or you can send it to your friends who might be interested in pursuing computer science. So today I will be presenting the computer science program at South Seattle College. Pablo, I see you. Thank you for coming in. I started recording, so we're all good. Okay. I have been teaching at South Seattle for the last 8-9 years, and before that I taught at Bellevue College. I have been teaching computer science. Computer science is basically is where we learn how computers work. Let's see if I can click on it. Change this. Next slide, please. Okay. Computer science basically is pervasive. Like I have been saying, there is really no industry or no mode of life that doesn't actually use computers these days. We heard Professor Messerly talk about computers in Tesla. Tesla is basically a computing machine, if you ask me, right? So the computer science is basically a fundamental science. The computer scientists basically figure out the theoretical underpinnings, the algorithm foundations of robotics, the computer vision, intelligent systems, computing in biology, in genomics. And then what do these computer scientists do? They design, they implement software. Apps is something that you might have heard. We design and develop those. And then how do we use computers to do new things, right? We already have a very general purpose machine, right? This is something that can almost do anything. It's not specially designed for one particular task. So how do we actually put these machines to good use, right? So that our life, our, the societies, our productivity, everything improves, okay? So South Seattle College has a computer science transfer program, right? In this presentation, I'm going to focus on one particular path through this transfer program, but there are a couple of other things that I will also mention, right? You might have heard computer science being referred as computer engineering, information systems, software engineering, systems engineering. All these are basically, when they come to the undergrad degree, the 4-year degree, they're kind of all very closely related, right? It depending on which department, which college, what university is offering this program. Some might call it computer engineering, some might call it computer science. Some universities have, they also have, multiple variations of the same degree, okay? So a lot of my students ask me, what should I do? Should I do computer engineering? Should I do computer science? But really, as far as the 4-year degree is concerned, there is not a whole lot of difference. For example, the employers, if you apply to Microsoft, if you apply to Amazon, they are not saying, oh, this guy got a computer engineering degree, so we don't want him. Or, there is no such thing. All students are equally treated, okay? All right, let's go on to the next slide. So what do you learn, right? First of all, at our college, there are 2 full-time instructors and 2 part-time instructors who teach computer science. We have background, for example, I have a background in electrical engineering. and then computer science, and the other full-time teacher has a background in math and computer science. Computer science is a very interdisciplinary program for that sense, right? Because in order for us to computationally solve problems from the other domain, you sometimes need some knowledge in the other domain, right? If you are going to do if you are going to use computation for autonomous driving, then you need to understand what driving is, right, mechanically speaking, and then you may want to understand the rules and regulations on the roads, and you need to understand mapping, all these things. Okay, so there are two languages that we use at our college. One is Python for the CSE 110 class, and then the other two classes we use Java. Okay, and then what do we actually learn in these three fundamental foundational computer science classes, right? These are not about programming, right? We're not trying to teach you Python or Java. We're actually trying to teach you the computational thinking, right? This is the science part of computer science, right? So, and then we will also teach you on how are the software systems built? How are the apps written, right? What are all the various processes? And then we will also then get into what are the fundamental structures in computer science or computation, right? Without these fundamental structures, you cannot really build a program or anything that can do computation, right? So these are the very foundational classes. And then obviously, just to have fun, because everyone is interested in game development and games and video, we are going to also spend some time on graphics. Okay. All right. I'm moving on. Please, if you have any questions, you can always ask them at the end. Okay. All right. So what can you expect at South Seattle College when you come into our college, right? We are a minority serving institution. So that basically means we have underrepresented students, 60%, the last count of our students are underrepresented. That means women, people of color, immigrants, and people with various needs, and and worker retraining people, and fresh out of the high school students. So this is a very diverse, energetic, dynamic group of students that you will see on our college campus. Okay, and don't worry if you're the first person in your family to going to a college, right? Because we have a lot of them. No one in their families has ever gone to a college, right? So we have 50% of the first generation students in our class. And women, we have 30% in CS classes. CS classes generally tend to not have that many women students, but we are fortunate. We have many multiple programs for us to encourage their participation. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next slide. So the MC Chris, he showed you this map, right? If you're coming from a high school, then you are ready to take college level classes. Okay. If you're not, if you don't have a high school diploma, then you may have to spend a little bit more time at our college. But assuming that you're coming from the high school, then you will be spending about 6 quarters, okay, of your time on our campus, going through a list and a sequence of classes that you need to complete, so that at the end of that, you will get a diploma, right? You will get your Associate of Science degree, right? AS degree. And the particular AS degree that you will get when you're following this computer science pathway is an AS2 degree, Associate of Science 2 degree, okay? And then once you have spent these 6 quarters at our college, sometimes maybe a couple more quarters, a couple more summers, a summer here, summer there, then you're ready to transfer to a 4-year college. Most of the students from my class, and I've been doing this for the last 20 years, they generally tend to go to one of the 3 campuses of University of Washington, all right? Many of my students have gone to University of Washington, Seattle, and they did 2 more years of computer science there, Okay, so when they start at the UW, they will start as a junior standing, and then they will spend 2 years taking other additional classes. Most of them happen to be computer science classes, and then they will graduate with a bachelor's degree in computer science, computer engineering, computer science, so on and so forth. Okay, Tony, Troy, I see that you have raised your hand, but can you maybe wait until the end so that I can answer your question? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is something that I'm going to kind of skim through, right? We won't have a lot of time to go through this particular map. This is, again, it's a sample, right? Different students will have different pathway through our program, and you will meet as part of your enrollment process. You will have a relationship with an advisor, an academic advisor, who will advise you on what classes to take. Okay, this is just a simple recommendation. So you will start with the most introductory of computer science program classes, right? This will kind of tell you whether you are really, is this what you're looking for, right? A lot of my students they will come from other, they have other interests, and then they will change into computer science, and some computer science students will change into electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or, some other program, right? So it is possible because most of the classes will be same, right? Okay, and then you also need to do pre-calculus, and then there are some recommended communication classes because you will be working in a team, so you need to communicate. How do you communicate effectively in a team setting, right? So there are communication classes that we would like you to take, and these are all required. They will satisfy various requirements for you to be able to get your associates of science diploma from our college. All right, okay, and then English composition, pre-calculus 2, philosophy, which will teach you the predicate logic and the logical thinking, or the logic behind, or the science behind the logic itself, right? Which is very important for computer science, or economics, very useful. And then the second computer science class called CSE 142, and like I said, this was taught in Java. All right, and this builds on all the things that you did learn in CSE 110. All right, okay, and then that is quarter 3. So by the time you're done with quarter 3, you're done with 1 year, right? Now you're starting your second year. You will now have all the required math foundations for you to start taking engineering physics, and then additional math classes. And the second year is spent taking additional math and physics classes, and then either biology 100 or chemistry 121, because you need a lab science class. And then you will take the last quarter, you will take the computer science, the third class, the CSE 143, which builds on, we will use the same books from 142, and then you will do the remaining chapters in 143, and we will use Java. Okay, by that time you are really already started to write some programs that are sophisticated, right? Are well built, and they are complicated, right? And they are doing something useful. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is one of the pathways. There are 2 other ways that you can also go through without going through the AS degree. Okay. The other one is called a majors related program, and we have transfer agreements with a lot of universities in our state and outside our state. We are currently working on it, and that is a viable option also. That also will take you 6 quarters. It will have a slightly different order of classes. That's all there is, right? And we are also currently working on a 4-year degree for computer science in our college. So you will come in and you will spend 2 years, you will get your associate degree, and then you will spend 2 more years in our colleges, across all colleges possibly, right? And then you will get your Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Okay, that is something that is currently in front of the state, and we are working on the proposal and other things. I don't have a lot of details that I can share with you, but this is something that might start this fall, maybe potentially next year. Okay. Okay. I'm moving on to the next slide. And how are we doing on time? We have about 25 minutes left. Okay. Okay. How do we engage students? This is a fun part. Like, we have actually a very vibrant STEM student club. Okay. This is the science, engineering, and science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's formed by women, but really all students come together. They have guest speakers. They meet every week. They plan for, they work on their resumes. They create their LinkedIn profile. They're very, very active. Okay. Last couple of years, thanks to COVID, nothing really has been happening because nobody is on campus, but this is something that we are looking to revive going forward. Okay. The next one is Hour of Code. As you can see some posters that we put, this is a student-run organization. They will get together every week for an hour or two. We have a lab that is set up for them. And one of the students will find a topic that interests them, and then they will present it to the other students. This gives them a unstructured free form of time for them to actually kind of mess around, hack around with computer code. Okay. All right. We also take students to Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Computing. This is the women only conference where they have scholarships, and we fund their travel, and we get to go to those conferences. These days everything is virtual, but hopefully when everything comes back online, we will get to go. We also take our students to a Women in Science and Engineering conferences at University of Washington, Seattle. And that is not only women, but everyone goes, but this is organized by the WinSTEM people. I personally take my students to colleges for like UW Tacoma, UW Bothell, and they have an open house for our students. And we will go and we will look at their programs, right? Because they have more than one. They have computer science, computer engineering, and information technology, so various programs, and they will present their admission requirements, the transfer requirements. You can ask all their questions. Sometimes they'll take us around and they'll show the labs to us and so many things. So we would like to kind of help our students to not only come, but successfully transfer into a 4-year college. Okay, I'm moving on to the next slide. So careers. Over years, all my students, after they graduated from UW or wherever they went for their 4-year degree, they have found jobs. Jobs are plenty, right? Really, there are literally a million jobs in our area. They cannot find people who can do computer science. So having a 4-year degree computer science is like, it's worth its weight in gold. Like, it's really that person is really employable, right? There is a lot of jobs. So my students have gone to Google, Microsoft, Amazon, T-Mobile. Like, I lose track of them. They're all over the town. They are working in multiple high-tech industries. They make a lot more money than I do. They start anywhere between $100,000 to $120,000 a year, and then only the sky is the limit, right? After that, right? Okay. So there are really tons of jobs for computer science graduates in this area. Okay, this might be the most high-tech areas that we have in the country, in the world, right? Okay. These are all the links. We can quickly take a look at them. There is some work that is done by our students. I'm showing that a little bit, and then I will stop the recording. We'll take a look at a few things that how I do in the class, how we do in the class, and then I will leave at least 5-8 minutes or 10 minutes for the questions. Okay. Let's go take a look at these links quickly so that you know what to expect. Right. For now, let me stop sharing this. or let me share a new screen. Okay, this is my web browser. This is where you came from, right? This Discover Seattle Colleges is something that you already know, right? I don't need to show you anything. But later, you can go down, you can look at these things, and hopefully they will, in next week or so, they will post the presentations here so that you can actually rewatch my presentation, or you can watch some other presentation that you are not able to attend. Okay, all right. This is my college web page. This is South Seattle. I'm specifically talking about South Seattle because I'm from there, right? I teach there, but whatever I'm saying applies to Central and North, right? For example, if you are close to one of those colleges and you would like to continue, go through this path, you are more than welcome, and it is available there for you, right? The map might be a little different, the kinds of things that they do might be a little different, but it's the same program, okay? Offered by all three colleges, all right? Okay. And then this is the computer science page at my college. If you actually go down, if you want to look at the program map that I showed you, kind of in a little blurry in the presentation, you can look at the program map. And the other two program pathways that I mentioned that we are still working on will be here soon in next couple of months. Okay, so maybe you may want to come back to this page to see what are all the various pathways that are possible for you. Okay, this is the transfer agreements between four-year institutions. This is at the Seattle College's website itself, right? So you can look at the various direct transfer agreements, or DTAs. So you can look at all the various things that are in-state and out-of-state colleges, right? You can see the agreements. Good. All right. And most importantly, I'm doing this presentation from a very high level, but you really need answers like, okay, what math classes, what, computer science classes, what other classes do I have to take, and when do I take, and when, how long does it take for me, and financial aid, all other things. You can go to the advising page at my college, and they will be able to assist you. Like, they can really give you the answers that you're looking for. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me stop the recording right now, but then I will show you a couple of other things that we do in our college. Okay. I'll pause. I'll pause the record. Resume the recording. Yeah. And now, any questions? I can answer. Anyone has any questions that I can answer? Rachel, yes. Rachel says 3 minutes until the breakout rooms close. So we have exactly 3 minutes. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. You can also find me on our college site, or you can contact an advisor and they can put you in touch with me if you need to reach me. If you have any questions, hang around. If not, you can leave the room, go back. Please go back to the main room so that we can wrap our program there. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to me and attending this session, attending my session. I hope to see some of you in my classes soon, maybe this fall. And they will go from there. Hi, Troy. You had a question? Yeah.
It was the question about the AE or AST.
Okay.
You had answered it already.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We also used to have an Associate of Arts track that we don't really I mean, that might still be a possibility, but again, this is something that an advisor can really actually help you with it. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I have a question that if I study, I'm studying now in IT class, and maybe I can transfer to the computer science. Is it possible?
Yeah. What are you studying right now?
IT 100.
Okay. Yeah, you may have to talk to the advisor. Definitely, it is easily possible. You may lose a couple of things here and there, but it is possible for you to start on computer science path. Right. Again, you may have to take CSC 110 to start with, and then go from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Luna. Thank you.
Thank you.